I've been spending the better part of almost 2 weeks here figuring out how to make this video. Up next in my series of what Best Picture nominee should win Best Picture is Emilia Pérez. And do I do it differently and say why it shouldn't win Best Picture? Or should I keep with my tradition and give my honest opinion on why this movie can win Best Picture amid all the controversy around that? Well, I guess we'll just rip off the Band-Aid now. This is why Emilia Pérez should win Best Picture at the Oscars this year. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why Emilia Pérez shouldn't win Best Picture at the Oscars this year. None more obvious than Carla Sofia Gascon's amazing Twitter controversy and just controversy overall, and her really bad doubling down / trying to act as a victim of some pretty hateful tweets that went out. You also have the director Jacques Audiard just not saying great things when trying to protect the movie. Things like Spanish is the language of the poor and the those who struggle. On top of the representation issues that a lot of people have with the trans character Emilia Pérez in this movie, there's a lot of reasons why people are allowed to not like this film, and there's a lot of reasons why this movie should not win Best Picture, and it will not win Best Picture. But I gotta trudge on and treat this series like I treat all other movies in this series, because I don't think every movie that's a Best Picture nominee should win it, but I try to always make a case and to see the positive aspects of the movies on why they could win Best Picture, and that's what we're doing here with Emilia Pérez, because there's a lot I liked about Emilia Pérez. It got a diamond rating from me when I watched it last November, and I stand by that rating amid all the controversy when I look at the quality of the film itself. Things that worked well for me is straight up the acting from Carla Sofia Gascon as Emilia Pérez, Zoe Saldana as Rita, and Selena Gomez as Jessie. And I know Selena Gomez as a whole has created a lot of controversy because people felt her accent didn't feel so pure and so Mexican per se. But her character is somebody who comes from the U.S. that's supposed to have an accent that's not familiar. And she's even a character that doesn't even live in Mexico for a majority of the movie before she goes back to her home, back to that country where she, married the cartel leader. So in my eyes, the fact that Jessie's and Selena Gomez's big complaint is she doesn't sound Mexican is like, good, that's exactly what her character is like. And Selena Gomez's Jessie, I think, gives a character who is trying to move on in her life, but is continually being forced back into the world that she doesn't quite want to be around. She believes her husband is dead, but she was forced to move all the way to Europe and live there for quite a few years. Out of nowhere, though, she's now being ripped back by one of her husband's missing cousins, Emilia Pérez, who is trying to be overly nice but also controlling of her kids. I just think Jessie as a character is such an interesting plot going on here, and Gomez is hitting all the different ranges of emotions and giving some great musical performances throughout, and is really making that character shine for me. I'm kind of sad to see that she's been kind of put down and forgotten during the award season, because I think there's so much going on with Jessie and the different layers that Gomez is bringing out in that character and the difficulties that character has, that it really is a great performance when you look at things. Then you have Zoe Saldana as Rita. Now, I'll admit, I think in the second half of the movie, Rita kind of falls away and becomes maybe more that supporting character. But in the first half, Saldana as Rita is able to really give a wild range of emotions of a lawyer who's trying to do good but also trying to escape where she's from. And whenever she comes across Emilia post her transition, you can tell she does not want to get back involved in this world. Obviously, she wants to do good in her home country, and El Ma is an amazing, amazing musical performance for me, and probably my standout musical performance of the whole entire year. And Saldana's music throughout is able to, I just think, carry this movie and give it momentum throughout. And I love Rita as a character and the way she's just able to be emotional and have very power and gravitas in her performances. I think the journey Rita goes on isn't that great overall, but the acting from Saldana really brought me into the character from beginning to end. And then there is Emilia Pérez. And with all the horrible things Carla Sofia Gascon has said and has defended, it is tough to try to separate the actor from the performance. But why I liked her performance as Emilia Pérez and why I like the character of Emilia Pérez is because I thought it told a great story of you cannot escape who you are. And even though, maybe you transition correctly or incorrectly, however you feel, it is very true that Emilia Pérez could never escape her past, and that was her ultimate downfall as a character. Coming off being a very, vicious, well-respected for maybe the wrong reasons, cartel boss, turned into a non-profit trying to help the public of lost children's causes in Mexico. Emilia Pérez could never forget her past, and she was consistently trying to make up for it, whether that was overly intentionally going at Jesse's kids, which obviously were her own, but never telling Jesse who she was, as well as just being more vicious once she figured out that Jesse was seeing somebody else. Emilia Pérez and Carla Sofia Gascon is just the amazing character that tells you that you can try all you want to escape your past and all your horrible deeds you do, but you can't escape it. Who you are is who you are. Man or woman, penis or vagina. Emilia Pérez was always a cartel boss that on the inside that wants all the power and the propaganda to lift herself up. And it ends up being the emotional downfall of Jesse and the overall downfall of Emilia Pérez as a character. And it's one reason why I really like this movie, because I didn't think this was a movie that was trying to tell a great story about this character Emilia Pérez trying to do good. I saw this more as a tale of somebody trying to run away from their past, but never quite letting go of their past, so their past always came back to haunt them and caused their eventual death and downfall. This was a complicated video to make. There's a million reasons why Emilia Pérez shouldn't win Best Picture, but I hope I made a good argument or a good, reasonings on why it should win Best Picture if it could win Best Picture, but we all know it can't, and I just hope anybody who watches understands I'm doing this for every movie in the series, and not every movie in the series I think should actually win Best Picture, but I try to make an argument for every one of them. I'm excited to continue the series on now, though, as we have 4 more films left, including I'm Still Here, which will be my next video out here in the next day or so.